Hello, friends. Oh my gosh, going live again. Okay. Today I'm going to be talking about how I kind of took a step back yesterday and I kind of let a stranger on the internet control my happiness and live rent free in my mind all day yesterday and a little bit more this morning. And I'm sure a reason why a lot of people might be too afraid to post on the internet and post videos and put themselves out there is because of a fear of getting some mean and hurtful comments on the internet from strangers. And as someone who has been posting for the last 3 years, posting videos on the internet, I have not gotten a lot of these hurtful or mean comments. I get so much love on the internet, and I think in a way the universe has been protecting me from receiving these hurtful comments from people on the internet until I was ready to receive them, And yesterday I did get one, and someone said on one of my YouTube videos, well, it was the little video that I posted yesterday or the day before of me dyeing my hair more pink. And someone said, it might not be the exact comment, I deleted it, but someone had written, I expected a pretty girl to turn around. Boy in all capital letters, boy was I wrong. And let me paint the picture for you a little bit. Yesterday, I was at my last shift at Old Navy. I said goodbye to Old Navy. As much as I love it there and as much as I love the people there, I just feel a strong pull from my intuition to take a step back and focus more on my business and what I'm currently working on. So yesterday was already a little bit sad. Was already a little bit like I kind of dread having to say goodbye to these people and to my friends that I've made at Old Navy. Keep in mind, I'm someone who does their best to not look at any of the comments, any of the feedback on my videos. I try to respond to comments as much as I can, but I try to avoid it as well, because even the positive reinforcement, it's weird. It's kind of like a drug, Even though I have mostly only received love on social media, when I post, sometimes in the past, I would look for the positive feedback. I would look for it. And if I didn't receive it, then I would feel like this. And even when I received the positive feedback, it's like such a fleeting feeling. It doesn't last for very long. And it's like this high that you always want to have, and you don't always get it. And I don't know if that makes sense, but like you're always searching for the initial feeling that you get. And so, long story short, I do my best to avoid all feedback on social media. Yesterday, though, on my break, during my last shift at Old Navy, I was looking at my phone, and I saw a little notification as I was watching some shorts on YouTube and some videos on YouTube. I saw this little notification, and I never see a notification on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, what's that? And then I click on it, and then it says that comment is right there. And I'm like, huh. That's hurtful. And also, I was also laughing at myself because it's like, I don't understand how someone can not only spend their time thinking about that and be so triggered about someone turning their back, and I could analyze it and overanalyze it as much as I want. But, sorry, my cat's distracting me. I can overanalyze it as much as I want. But I was also shocked. I was just shocked that someone would take their time to type up that and send it, and the intentions behind it, and like, why do you want to spend your energy doing this? Like, why would you want to bring someone down? You know, especially someone who has put themselves on the internet. I do my best to like root for people who also put themselves out on the internet, because even though I don't get a lot of like mean and hurtful comments, it's so important to root for ourselves, root for each other, because doing this, it still isn't that easy, you know, it's still scary. I'm still recording this, even, you know, it's uncomfortable, and it's not always the best thing. And, you know, long story short, I was really triggered by that comment. And that comment took up space in my mind for the entire day. For the rest of the day, I was trying to be so present, especially during, it was like I had 1 hour left of my last shift at Old Navy to try and be present and try and, you know, say goodbye and send my gratitude and my positivity to the people that I'm saying goodbye to. But it was just like in my mind, and I was letting it affect me a lot. And I really felt like I was taking a step back. I was frustrated at that person, but I was also really frustrated that I was letting this comment affect me so much. Meanwhile, my partner Cameron, we're having like 2 completely different days. My partner Cameron gets an offer, a second offer from this place that he's been applying to. He accepts it. He is really stoked about that. And we also went to the kid casino. I call it the kid casino because it's an arcade, but it's gambling for kids. And he gets the jackpot in the skill-based game, and that he'd been working hard on. And, you know, he's having a phenomenal day, and I'm having like he's starting his new beginnings, right? And I'm closing out a chapter. And also, like, this stranger is living rent-free in my head, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I noticed something, and I noticed myself coping in ways that aren't so healthy for me. I used to cope by smoking marijuana and maybe binge watching TV and just staying in bed all day. But this time I was coping by spending money, by shopping, and also drinking a little bit at the end of the night. And I want to say that I was a little disappointed in myself, and I like this title of this post is, I took a step back yesterday. I feel like I took a step back yesterday. And this morning I was really frustrated still that I was allowing this person's words on my video affect me so much. There are a lot of reasons why it affected me. I think the main reason was that it made me feel insecure, and it made me feel inadequate. And it made me question my reality as well. I've had a really hard, if you followed me, you might know this, but I've had a really hard time trusting my perception and trusting my reality, because I was growing up, you know, my family rejected my reality and rejected my feelings and my emotions and how I was doing, and was like, no, you're wrong. Why are you feeling this way? You're so sensitive. All of these things. So in the past, I've had a really hard time trusting my reality and trusting my perception. And I'm like, and to be fair, I do think that I'm a pretty person. And I'm like, oh my God, have I been deluding myself? Am I actually exactly what this stranger is telling me on the internet, right? Who's basically anonymous, and I have no idea who they are, and I'll never know. And then I'm like, wait a second. You know, I'm trying to fix this problem. I'm trying to fix it. And I get into this habit of trying to fix it when really what would be most helpful is just surrendering to that. I put my hands up. I took a step back yesterday. In some ways, I took a step back yesterday. But while I was journaling this morning, I want to share that I was shifting my perspective in a way that really helped me take my power back, right? I was giving my power to this stranger on the internet. And I'm sure, I did this before. I used to post when I was like a early teenager, you know, and I stopped posting because of comments like this and because of people in my school, in my middle school, giving me shit about posting videos, so I stopped. And for me, it's important to reclaim that power and not let other people control that. And it's okay if it happens. It's okay if it happens, because to be honest, it wasn't even about the person's words. It was about how that triggered me and what's going on here and my history and my past and all these things. And then I started to shift my perspective a bit about seeing it more objectively. What happened yesterday on my break? I saw a little red dot on this little bell on my app. I clicked it. Someone said some words on my video, and I took it so hard, right? I made so many... I created so many meanings from those words, and I was feeling like this, like, for the rest of the day. Trying to think of what else I was writing about while I was journaling. But I know one of the things that I was writing about was that, you know, I do think that the universe has been protecting me in a lot of ways from receiving comments like this. You know, people like Lizzo, and I'm sure every single celebrity, every person that is on, that puts themselves out there and is out for the world to be criticized, you know, the people that I absolutely love, like Lizzo, Paris Hilton, Britney Spears, all these people that I love, you know, they get criticized by people every day, and I'm sure they receive so many of those comments, right? So in a way, I kind of think of it as like an initiation. An initiation into, well, if you're choosing to do this, this is going to be a part of it, especially if you plan on expanding your reach and connecting with other and more people, you know? Like, this is a natural part of it, and it's a way that you are expanding, and it's a challenge for myself to reclaim my power even when this happens. It's okay to give my power away in the beginning. This is like totally new for me, but it's also up to me to keep going and keep picking myself up, because this stuff is inevitable. And it's not to deter anyone from putting themselves out there at all, you know? But it is confirmation and like a challenge from the universe. Like, do I know who I am? Am I gonna let some stranger on the internet tell me who I am? Am I going to let them control my self-image of how I perceive myself and who I am? Am I going to let that change me? maybe for like 24 hours this time. Hopefully it'll be less and less in the future, but ultimately, hell no. Hell no. You know, it's like, remember who you are. Remember why you're doing this in the first place. Am I here to make strangers on the internet feel attracted to me and think I'm pretty when I turn around? No. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it for that reason. And also, I am creating something that I've been like talking about a little bit, but not really. And this was a huge opportunity for me to embody what I'm teaching in this program course that I'm creating. Because I literally write about how, I share and teach about how important it is to reclaim your power, not let anyone else tell you that you're inferior, like what Eleanor Roosevelt, her quote, you know, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent, that kind of vibe. And also avoiding looking at the feedback, you know, if you're at all interested in putting yourself out there or posting videos or anything like that, one thing that I would say is do your best to avoid the feedback, even if it's positive feedback. Kind of like what I was saying in the beginning of this. It's just important to avoid it. And if you're someone who has been posting this, you might have an idea of this. Because even if it's positive feedback, you're still looking for that. You're still expecting that. And it's like this temporary high that is just so fleeting. It doesn't last for very long at all. And then you're just constantly chasing that. It's a whole thing. But also remembering who the F you are. Remembering who you are and why you're posting and sharing in the first place. And not letting strangers on the internet control that. And I'm not 100% perfect, like, on any of this stuff, you know? I said that I took a step back yesterday, but in a way, sometimes you do have to take a step back in order to jump 3 steps forward, you know what I mean? And if you're anybody who's receiving kind of hurtful comments in here, it's because the universe, in a way, it's because the universe knows that you can handle it now, and that it's kind of a sign that you're expanding your outreach and you're expanding in general, and you're attracting a bigger and bigger number of people. Not that it's about numbers at all, but, you know, Lizzo. I just love Lizzo, okay? Lizzo's freaking amazing. She creates amazing music, and it's an amazing role model for so many humans, and body positivity and all of these things. You know how many fucking hate comments and mean comments she gets? Which are totally everyone else's projections anyways, but she gets so many. And she still picks herself up, and she still keeps going. And it's because she's, you know, people know her. Gosh. Part of me is like, oh my gosh, this sounds egotistical. You want to be known? I mean, I guess. I mean, that's kind of why I'm posting myself out there. Like, I want people who are meant to find me. And it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like when you have, like, it's a weird example, but like when you're fishing and you are fishing with like a big net, you know, and you don't always catch the fishes that maybe you want to catch, you know. Sometimes there's other people, but the wider the net, the more the fish is, the bigger the chance that the people that need to find you or are going to benefit from the message that you are sharing, the better. And, you know, the wider the net, maybe there's going to be people that are triggered by you, that are triggered by your message, and are going to take their time to write things down and comment on your posts or whatever. Like, but in a way, I think that's a really good sign. So I started this off by saying me and Cameron had really different days yesterday, right? I feel like I am taking a step back, and I'm also letting stranger dictate my happiness right now, while he is taking a step forward and accepting this new job offer and up-leveling in his career and in so many different ways, like also his self-worth and all these things, right? But I think in a way I was taking a step forward, because it's like, I don't know, to me that comment was like, okay, you're going in the right direction. And I'm like, okay, sick, you know, in a weird way. Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. And I'm creating more room for what I feel most passionate about by leaving my old job and focusing completely on what lights me up. And like part of my job is doing this. And am I gonna let, it's another opportunity from the universe, am I gonna let some stranger stop me from doing what I want to do? No. He's actually empowering me. I'm very grateful for that stranger and his words, or her words, or their words. Thank you so much for commenting on that video and helping me like gain perspective and remember who the fuck I am, and giving me more inspiration for what I'm creating, as well as more inspiration to come live on here and share about this. Am I gonna be 100% perfect all the time? No. Are comments potentially gonna have a little effect on me? Probably. But I'm not gonna let that shit stop me, and I just hope that anybody who's watching this doesn't let it stop them either. Because it's a sign that you're growing and expanding, and also if you're someone who is at all interested in putting yourself out there, like, it's not what other people say about you. It's not about what other people comment or even say to your face. It's about remembering who you are and knowing why you're doing this in the first place. And picking yourself back up and trying it again, you know? I've been doing this thing, embracing failure, and I think failing is kind of awesome. Let me explain. Failing is awesome because you're at least giving your, okay, I'll say me language. Me failing is awesome because I'm at least giving myself the chance to try, the chance to succeed. And every failure literally comes with so many lessons, and it's a failure, right? Failure. They're all opportunities to learn and to grow. Every single thing. And you can say that I failed when I was like an early teenager, and I was posting, and then I felt really bummed out by comments and by people in my school and things, that I stopped doing what I love to do. But I learned so much during that time, and it has reinforced me now that I'm not going to stop. I'm not. I'm going to let it fuel my fucking fire. Alright, thank you so much for watching if you watched. I hope that you're doing amazingly. I plan on being more active on social media now that I am fully focusing on my business and what lights me the F up. And I hope that this made sense. I'm gonna rewatch it right now. That's what I do, is I rewatch these things. Because when you go live, it's a weird like blackout, like kind of weird blackout kind of thing. Okay. Love you so much. Believe in yourself. You have what it takes to do whatever your heart desires. The universe is going to give you opportunities to grow, It's going to give you challenges, and it's going to present you with humans or whatever it is that are going to try to get in your way, but it's just reinforcement. It's just more fuel to your fire. Keep going, keep believing in yourself, and never be afraid to fail. I love you all so much. You're doing amazingly.